In China, over 8 million couples registered their marriage last year. Zhang Zhaoshen and Pei Na are one of them.
But we are still planning our wedding ceremony, that kind of stuff.
But nationwide, the number of marriage registrations has been falling for 7 years in a row. Well, if you look at the cost of marriage these days, you'll see that it's not a walk in the park. About a half a century ago in China, if you had a bike, a sewing machine, a watch, and a radio, you would have been considered the perfect suitor. These were called the Big Four. Today's Big Four is quite different.
I need a ring that I like, and I don't mind the other stuff that much. But I know girls of my age have many requirements. If you are getting married in Shanghai, you need a local Hukou. You need an apartment probably in both people's names, and the guy needs to provide 彩礼.
There's a lot to unpack here. Let's break it down. First, a ring, preferably diamond. Second, a hukou, which is a very Chinese thing. It's a government-issued residency status that, among other things, gives you access to important local social welfare and benefits. Naturally, people looking to get married in big cities would expect at least one of the spouses to have a local city hukou, as opposed to a rural one.
A hukou in first-tier cities is notoriously hard to obtain, but not totally impossible. In Shanghai, a person has to be employed and pay taxes for 7 years in a row to be eligible to apply for one.
The next box to check, an apartment, which on average is well over $7,500 per square meter in Shanghai.
Housing is more like a preferred when it comes to Western culture, but more or less like a must in China.
Some analysts have been calling this absolute need for housing rigid demands, and it's one of the reasons why housing prices keep rising in China. Buying a house is considered a rewarding investment by many Chinese families, and sometimes the single biggest investment in life for many. Next item, 彩礼, which is in the word cash that the man gives the woman's family.
Most guys choose a lucky number, like 188,000 or 288,000 yuan, because 8 is a lucky number in China. It just shows you care.
After you've taken care of all this, you still have a wedding and a honeymoon to plan. With all these daunting prerequisites, it's natural to assume that many Chinese would not want to get married. But data says it's actually not the case.
The marriage rate did drop from 2010 to 2020, but it was just a slight slip. If we look at people around 45 years old, more than 90% are married. This percentage has not changed much in the past 30 years.
Why? One major reason is that traditionally, parents are expected to finance much of their sons and daughters' marriage. For example, while it is virtually impossible for many young couples to afford an apartment, their families could both afford half of the massive down payments. Data shows that Chinese people are getting married later in life so that they can handle the mortgage and the cost of raising a child.
The competition is pretty huge nowadays, so people trying to get everything settled before they talking about getting married, having kids. That's stable income or higher income, preferably speaking, and also the overall expectations on the social levels is going to delay their marriage.
A later marriage plus the huge financial burden could translate into fewer kids. Many experts say China is having a demographic challenge. Judging from the boxes that Chinese couples have to check before getting married, this challenge is pretty much a financial one.